Welcome, wrestling fans. Welcome to Curtain Jerkin. As always, I'm your host, Jacob Grondy, reporting for the Main Event Mark's YouTube channel. You can also check me out on Spotify. However you're listening to my voice, I appreciate it. And it must be fucking WrestleMania season. We must be on the road to fucking WrestleMania because 2 shows, 1 day. You can check out my review on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, what I think about Sting's retirement match, maybe how I would book it, all kinds of things on part 1, but this is part 2, and we're all going to be talking about AEW for the most part, some New Japan, but mainly AEW, going all the way to AEW Dynamite. My thoughts on AEW Dynamite, Swerve seemed moved by the respect that he got at Revolution, and he blamed karma on why he didn't get the job done. Then Joe's music hits. He comes out, he's full gear ready. Swerve wants a shot right then and there. And then the Undisputed Kingdom music hits. Adam Cole comes out looking like an evil guy in a wheelchair. Swerve alludes to having Britt Baker's second phone number in his back pocket. I mean, I heard that was Christian myself, but I'm not going to let rumor and innuendo get in the way of, just a good joke by Swerve there. Then Shivani hears that Tony Khan books the match. He says, we got a match. Taven and Bennett versus Joe and Swerve. Further in the back, Hook getting interviewed by Renee, and Jericho interrupts just to give a little sign of respect here. Twitter didn't like it. Twitter, Internet, IWC, the Internet wrestling community love Hook, and they seem to be iffy on Jericho nowadays. So this befuddled everybody online, but I don't mind it. Whatever. Hook could learn a thing or two from Jericho, in my opinion. I think Jericho can go, and I think Hook is kind of needs a lot of stuff around him to be good. As I'm getting my levels right here. I'm trying to sound the best for you guys. So if I'm going in and out, I'm sorry. It's just me. I don't know if you've noticed this, but it's just me talking to myself in a room doing a podcast. The Bucks say they have a huge announcement later on. Nicholas has ridiculous facial hair. Great entrance after the ass kicking those guys took, Shivani says, and they kick Shivani out of the ring. I thought that was funny. They fire Hangman. They fire Omega from the Elite. Kingston comes out. I don't know why Eddie Kingston came out here. If anyone could let me know why, it would make more sense. But I thought this maybe could be like a Darby Allin situation here, where he comes out and says some shit to him since they just had a match, and then you could have done something there. I don't know. I think I might be missing something. But then Okada's music hits, and I'm fucking down. Okada coming out in a suit and tie, looking sharp. He hits Kingston with the Rainmaker, and then he joins the EVPs. He joins the Elite, the new Elite, the Bucks versus Okada. Sign me up, take my money. Those are heat-seeking missiles right there. Okada, the Rainmaker, getting paid $4.5 million per year to be in All Elite Wrestling for 3 years. So he's making like $13.5 mil. I mean, goddamn. Rainmaker, let's go, buddy. I'm stoked. As I said, I would have done it a little differently. I would have had him attack Sting in Sting's retirement match, and that's how I would have formed the new Elite. But, maybe I just want this heat. Maybe I just want these levels to sound good. God damn. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry here. I'm working on it. Or maybe they sound good, and I'm just complaining a lot. Kyle O'Reilly cutting a promo. This time he needs to do it on his own, he says. Do it on your own then, Kyle. I know you were Future Shock with Adam Cole. I know you were, undisputed in NXT. I know you were Red Dragon in Ring of Honor and stuff like that. Let's see you do it on your own. I don't know. Renee Paquette in the back with Timeless Tony Storm, and they announced that there's going to be the Tony Awards with an eye so they don't get sued on Collision. She also gives Mariah May a shirt, which is her old shirt, to Mariah May. I guess this is now Mariah May's shirt, which I think is good because, they have like a ton of these old, probably like Tony Storm shirts that are incredibly dated. But if you have Mariah May dress up as the old Tony Storm and kind of put that into the new Tony Storm gimmick, you can maybe sell some of these shirts now. Darby in the ring with Tony says he can't replace the Icon Sting, and there is no guarantee he will come back from Everest, and he is going to give it his all next week in a match before climbing the mountain. Then Switchblade interrupts, getting in his face a bit, going into the match next week. Darby, Scissorhands, as he calls him, goes in the back, whatever. We got a match here. Darby Allin versus Switchblade JY. This is gonna be a big one, man. I can see this being a big match. Darby does say that he main evented the Tokyo Dome, but then what has he done since joining AEW? Pretty much nothing, which I think is a good, solid point there. Julia Hart and Sky Blue mad at Willow, and right after House of Black promo, they are mad at Mark Briscoe for, trying to light them on fire with pyro. We're going to get to the bottom of this going into Collision. I'm going to talk about that a little later. And Mark Briscoe gets Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett on his side to fight House of Black in Collision. But let's go into these matches here. Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. I'm ranking every single match on Dynamite. And I just spoiled my ending there. But number 5, Killswitch and Matt Menard made short work of Daddy Magic. 1, 2, 3, Killswitch wins. Garcia attacks Killswitch, but Nick Wayne and Killswitch are able to fight off and keep the upper hand. And then Adam Copeland has an equalizer, takes out Killswitch, chokes out Nick Wayne, and blocks the low blow from Miss Wayne as he chases Christian Cage out of the arena. Christian Cage steals a car to get away from Adam Copeland here. I thought that was hilarious. And they're going to have a match. Cope versus Cage 3 I Quit match in Toronto, Canada. Let's fucking go. That match is probably going to be pretty good. Number 4, Matt Taven and Bennett versus Joe and Swerve. Joe running senton with 2 middle fingers in the air. Aimed at Swerve. Swerve with the JML driver. 1, 2, 3. No ROH titles on the line here, but they make short work of them. Wardlow makes his way down to ringside, and Joe uses this opportunity to choke out Swerve. Joe versus Wardlow next week. So the show that is allegedly going to feature Mercedes Moné's debut is getting pretty stacked here by week's end. Number 3, though, Riho versus Statlander. 2 AEW originals here. Stat catches her in midair and stays in control from there on out. Riho hits the dragon suplex and can't hit the running knee strike. Gets caught in a huge powerbomb. 1, 2. No. Stokely leaves a chain for Statlander to use. This distracts the referee, and then he distracts the referee. Statlander throws the chain down. She doesn't want to use it, hitting a wild deadlift German. Riho rolls her up. 1, 2, 3. Riho gets the victory here. Was Stokely right to give her the weapon? She definitely would have won the match, but you can't question the morals of Chris Statlander. She ain't going to do that kind of shit. Number 2, Hook versus Brian Cage. Cage with a Tekken-inspired gear. Hook beating him with trash can lid. Cage goes through a barricade trying to take down Hook. Exploder into a piece of the guardrail that was propped up in the turnbuckle. Tacks come into play. Hook hits an exploder onto the tacks. Red run by Hook. Cage falls back into the tacks to get the hold released. Hook doesn't let go though. Hook wins the match. First time I saw this tag submission no sell spot was Kyle O'Reilly versus Adam Cole in Ring of Honor, and this, strangely enough, this Hook and Brian Cage match got me excited for Kyle O'Reilly coming back. Gates of Agony attack Hook. Jericho makes a save. Strange new pairing here with Jericho and Hook, but I kind of like it. And then the main event here, Ospreay versus Fletcher. Damn, Fletcher had him like a lawn dart, but then Ospreay able to turn it around into a poison Rana, half and half avalanche suplex, but Ospreay lands on his feet, hits a huge Liger bomb. 1, 2, no. Fletcher hits, Fletcher just plants Ospreay. 1, 2, no. Liger bomb from Fletcher this time. 1, 2, no. Ospreay kicks out again, as the Atlanta crowd is giving a standing ovation. Cheeky Nando's, Poison Rana off the top, Hidden Blade, 1-2. Fletcher kicks out again. Wrap around bitch slap kick, vintage Ospreay there. Thrust kick by Fletcher. Standing Spanish fly from Ospreay. Oscutter 1-2. Fletcher kicks out again. Fletcher knows he's done at this point. Asks his friend to end it, and his friend does end it. Huge, snug as fuck Hidden Blade. 1-2-3. Will Ospreay gets the victory, and that was a non-title match. So like, Dynamite here, the Ring of Honor Tag Champions in the Undisputed Kingdom, get beaten handedly. No one cares about the titles. No one wants those things. And then the ROH TV title, in the main event, or the champions in the main event, Ospreay beats Fletcher. Not even a glance at the goddamn title. No one wants Ring of Honor titles, and that's a shame. I used to love Ring of Honor, but now it's just kind of this silly thing where they just have more titles than they know what to do with in AEW. But then Daniel Bryan comes out, stares him down, and shit's going to get real. Daniel Bryan and Will Ospreay, we'll talk about that later. Rampage, the news leaving Rampage was really nothing. It was kind of a skippable show. I did want to talk about Penta and Action Andretti because Penta is a AAA contracted wrestler, and I know now AEW has a deal with their biggest competitor, CMLL, so people were kind of worried that the AAA contracted wrestlers were, going to not be on AEW television. But right here, we see Pentagon wrestling the hydration sensation, Action Andretti. Penta does get the win as well. So, people's fears got put away with, when Penta hit the fear factor. But going into Collision, Shivani invites FTR out there. They're in the tag tournament, and then they get interrupted by the Infiltree, which was crazy to see. Seems pretty random. A big opportunity for the Infiltree. These guys, they're been around a little bit now. In their hometown, they say they're going to go to Magic City. Magic City Chance. Looked it up, Googled it. It's a strip club in Atlanta. Looked into some of the strippers' Instagrams. It seems like a good strip club in Atlanta. There's a tournament, a tag team tournament that both these teams are going to be in. And let's get into the matches here. The show kicks off with a banger. Bryan Danielson versus Shane Taylor. Interesting matchup here. Legend versus someone who I think beats the brakes off of every opportunity they're given. But those are limited opportunities in my opinion. Looking aggressive and upset here in the early going. Lands a vicious chop. Danielson landing a chop as well, but it's Taylor that lands another strike that sends Danielson to the outside. Danielson's chest just red as fuck here, chopping down the tree. Big splash, 1-2. Danielson kicks out, but Psycho knee, 1-2-3. And as Danielson is celebrating, Ospreay's music comes on. He comes out, and he just wants to have a little conversation here with Danielson. And before you know it, Danielson challenges him next week at Big Business, and Ospreay says, "Yes, bruv," which of course he says, "Yes, bruv." In a conversation between Danielson and Will Ospreay, it can get summed up by "Yes, bruv." If they were a tag team, I think it would be called "Yes, bruv." The New Elite featuring Okada versus John Cruz, Liam Gray, and Adrian Alanis. John Cruz, of course, Sir Pentico Unmasked. Liam wrestling for about 7 years with a WWE tryout in there. And Alanis, similar resume with 2 WWE tryouts. Rainmaker, 1-2-3. Cool to see him on Collision, but this wasn't much of a match here. Kingston tries to come after Okada, but the Bucks stop him. 3-on-1 attack. Penta comes out. It's still a numbers game. And then Pac's music hits. Pac is back. He comes out, kicks Matt, takes out Nick, and gets in the face of Okada. I can't believe this shit. They start throwing forearms. Pac with a German. And then the Bucks have to save Okada in his first match in AEW here. Getting kind of made a fool of by returning Pac. There's a 6-man tag match at Big Business in Boston, Massachusetts. So we got the Danielson match is at April 21st with Ospreay at the newest pay-per-view. But next week we have this big 6-man tag. We got Monet debuting. We got tons of stuff on the line here. We also have Mariah May versus Trisha Dora. Mariah May still in the Tony Storm gear. Huge knee strike. Mayday 1, 2, 3. Mariah May wins. And then Tony Storm makes her way to the top of the ramp to give out the Tony Award. There's only one nominee. It's Mariah May, and it goes to her. But then Purrazzo comes and attacks, or tries to attack Mariah May, but ends up getting laid out herself, beaten up in her own attack, and laid out for dead. And then Nick Wayne versus Adam Priest. I'm a fan of Adam Priest. It doesn't have a lot of size, but the guy can go. I've seen him wrestle a few times live. Wayne's World 1, 2, 3. Christian rips off a sign from a fan who's wearing a mask, and then the fan is revealed to be Adam Copeland in a lucha mask, attacks all of them, and then brings a crate from under the ring, shows Christian this crate. Christian doesn't want to fight after he sees what's in this crate, and Edge has the TNT Championship, holding it hostage as we go into Cope Cage 3 I Quit match. This is like kind of like an island onto itself in AEW, this feud here, and I've been enjoying the hell out of it. I'm looking forward to this match in Toronto. I mean, obviously both these guys are from Toronto, and it's going to be a crazy-ass match. Lionheart, Chris Jericho. No Judas. Tip of the cap to the old school as he faced Teton. Matrix-like dodge from Teton, avoiding the clothesline. Able to hit a Hurricane Rana. Jericho cuts him off 1, 2. No. Teton dives. Jericho hits a backbreaker 1, 2. Jericho kicks out again. Lion Salt misses. Tornado DDT 1, 2. Jericho kicks out another time. Huge double stomp 1, 2. Guess what Jericho does? He kicks the fuck out. La Immortale gets countered into a Lion Tamer, which gets countered into a pin. Jericho kicks out. Codebreaker out of nowhere. Kick out of nowhere. DVD from Teton. Another kick out. Lion Tamer. Teton taps out. I thought this match dragged a bit. I thought there was no way Jericho was going to lose to Teton. They could have had a shorter, better match here, I think. Gates of Agony attack Jericho, and then Hook makes a save this time with an equalizer, a kendo stick. And I think, Jericho and Hook might be a team, maybe going into the tag tournament. Who knows? Mystico and Angelico. Mystico seems to be just as over as Jericho and Adam Copeland and House of Black, all these big names in AEW, because he's a huge star in Mexico. Mystico taking out Serpentico, who was out there ringside supporting Angelico. Senton from Mystico 1, 2, no. La Mystica, and Angelico taps. I heard them saying Angelico, but I think it's Angelico. I'm not sure if the G is soft or what. I've seen this guy wrestle for like a decade now, and I guess I don't know how to say his name. Maybe Tony Schiavone was saying his name wrong. But then we go into the main event, the Atlanta Street Fight, Lethal, Jarrett, and Briscoe versus House of Black. This match was nuts. Mark goes flying off the top, over the table, onto a stack of chairs. That looked rough. And then Buddy lights a table on fire. Sanjay tries to stop him, then gets barked at and scampers away up to the top of the ramp where Julia Hart cuts him off. And Buddy Matthews meets him up there to dump gasoline on him. Lethal and Jarrett fight off the others as Karen Jarrett comes out, saves Sanjay's life. Sanjay pushes Buddy Matthews off a stage and gets kicked in the dick by Julia Hart. And Julia Hart missed Karen Jarrett and makes her way to ringside. Brody goes through a table. Jay Lethal gets laid out. Malachi gets the spike. Mark takes it from him, and somehow Mark gets double power bombed through a very lightly inflamed table, is how I will describe it, and gets pinned as Collision goes off the air. Collision was great. I loved Collision. I love AEW matches, man. They're great. And I also love New Japan here. Let's look at the New Japan, the Cup. I kind of skipped the first round just so I could keep up with all the other wrestling going on, but as we go into the second round, I'm going to watch all these matches. But it looks like Yoshihashi beat Kenta. I can't believe that shit. Holy shit. And the debuting Jack Perry in New Japan Pro Wrestling proper beats Shota Umino and joins House of Torture. So that made a lot of news here. Jack Perry, of course, a not well-liked wrestler, after kind of being blamed to be the catalyst for why CM Punk left AEW, and now joins a faction that's not well-liked in House of Torture. So, you know, that's going to create a lot of controversy, but I like it. I like the move. Naito beats Sho, and that was the first night of New Japan Cup action, and then we're going to the second night. Let's see here. So, Chase Owens beats Ishii? That's crazy. Tonga Loa beats Great Khan. These are all questionable outcomes, I would have to say. David Finlay beats TJP. That kind of makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I'm surprised Ishii and Great Khan got eliminated the first round. I guess someone's got to lose. And then we go into the third day of the New Japan Cup so far. And we have Ulag lost to Hikuleo. That kind of makes sense. And then Gabe Kidd getting the victory over Colin Newman. And Shingo Takagi beating Yuya Uemura. Wow, I'm not surprised that Shingo beat Yuya, but I'm surprised that they let Yuya lose in the first round. Yeah, I don't know. So let's see this New Japan Cup. I'm gonna do some typing here, guys. I'm trying to get this bracket laid out. Let me see this bracket. Compelling podcast, I'm sure. So is this it? 3-6, 3-7, 3-8. So tomorrow we have Tsuji versus Jeff Cobb. I think Tsuji's going to win that one. Phantasmo versus Mikey Nichols. I think Phantasmo's winning that one. Tai Chi versus Rin Narita. And that will be the last day of the first round. Zack Sabre Jr., Evil, Sonata, and Goto all getting buys into the second round. And the second round is really where it gets kind of real. Then you got the finals, which are fucking awesome. Zack Sabre Jr.'s won this thing twice. I would love to see him win it a second time. And that's New Japan Cup here. And that's the fucking show. I talked about AEW. I talked about New Japan. I talked about everything I love. Check out the last show, part 1. And as always, fly high. I'm out.